Hey there, welcome back to my kitchen. In today's video, we're just going to make some recipes using some good old ground beef, and if you don't like ground beef, of course, you can replace any of these with some ground turkey, or even if you want to, ground chicken. So let's go ahead and get started, and I will show you how to make all three of these delicious ground beef recipes. To begin today, we're going to make some mushroom Swiss burgers. I have been craving these, so I decided, you know what, we're going to make them. To begin here, I am just going to go ahead and slice up one 8-ounce package of brown mushrooms. Now into this bowl, I have added in 1 pound of ground beef. I'm also going to add in 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, about 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of hamburger seasoning, 1 teaspoon of dried minced onion, a little bit of pepper, and then just going to get this all mixed together. Divide that into 4 equal parts and then make them into patties. Now over here to my skillet, I added about a tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of avocado oil. I'm going to let those fully melt and get nice and hot, and then add in my patties. These patties will cook for about 3 to 4 minutes per side until they are cooked to your liking. Once they're done, I'm just going to go ahead and remove those out of the pan, and into this same pan I'm actually going to add in my mushrooms. Make sure you leave all the drippings in the pan. That is added flavor for these mushrooms. I'm also going to add just a couple shakes of salt and pepper in here. Those mushrooms will cook for about 8 to 10 minutes until they are nice and tender and looking something like this. At this point, I do have my pan on a low heat. I'm just going to push all the mushrooms to the side so I can add my burgers back in here, and then take the mushrooms and add them on top of the burgers. Since I am making some mushroom Swiss burgers, I'm going to go ahead and add some Swiss cheese on top of each one. Once the cheese does melt, it'll help hold on those mushrooms to the burgers. Here's what my plate looked like in the end. As you can see, I did go ahead and toast these buns up a little bit. These are just some brioche buns. Added my burger with the mushroom and Swiss on there, and then on the side I just made some potato wedges to keep it nice and easy. Next up, I've been seeing a post circulate on Facebook about a beefy melt burrito from Taco Bell, so I kind of wanted to give it a shot and just see how it turned out. So to begin here, I am just taking 1 pound of ground beef and breaking that up with my spoon. I'm just going to let this cook until the ground beef is cooked all the way through. Back here in this little pan, I'm going to go ahead and melt some butter so I can cook this Mexican style rice. With this rice, you have to let it brown up a little bit in the butter, and then you add the liquid and the seasoning packet, and you just let it go until the rice is tender. Once my ground beef is done cooking, if needed, you can drain off the grease, but I really didn't need to do that. Then I'm just going to add a little bit of water and add my taco seasoning in here and get this all mixed together. You can just let the ground beef sit here and rest for a minute while you wait on the rice to finish. But once the rice is done, you can go ahead and start building your burritos. So into a nice big burrito shell, I am just adding a little scoop of taco meat. Then I'm adding some of the rice in there. Then this recipe said you could use Fritos or Doritos, so I picked to use Doritos, and I'm just crushing a couple of those in there. Next, you're going to need a cheese sauce, and I do have to say I don't really recommend this one. This cheese sauce was not very runny. It was super duper thick. It is a Taco Bell brand one, but I just think there are better flavored ones out there than this one. Then I'm going to add a small handful of some Mexican style cheese and some sour cream, and then I'm just going to roll this up nice and tight. And then you'll just go ahead and keep repeating that until you've run out of tortillas or you've run out of filling. After those are all rolled up and ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and move them over to a hot skillet and just brown them up on each side until they look something like this. Here's what they look like when they were all done. I went ahead and just used some of my fire packets on these, and they were really good. I definitely think you need to use a different cheese than the Taco Bell queso cheese. It was just really thick, and I honestly was not a huge fan of the flavor. I don't know if I've ever actually had a beefy melt burrito from Taco Bell, but either way, these turned out really, really good. And then of course we had to have a pasta recipe this week, so now we're going to make this Rotel Pasta. For this one, of course, you will need 1 pound of ground beef, and you will also need half of a yellow onion chopped up. My ground beef was still a little frozen in the center, but that's okay. I'm just going to break it up the best I can and then let this cook in here until the ground beef is cooked all the way through. If needed, make sure you drain off any grease from your ground beef, and then you're going to add in 1 teaspoon of minced garlic. Now I'm going to mix this around and just let this cook for about a minute or so until I can smell the garlic nice and strong. Next, you will add 1 can of diced tomatoes with green chilies or a can of Rotel, 1 cup of beef broth, half a cup of heavy cream, half a block of cream cheese, that is about 4 ounces, and you will want to cut this up into smaller pieces and warm it up in the microwave, that way it can mix in here a lot easier. 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, a half teaspoon of cumin, a half teaspoon of garlic salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Now you'll just go ahead and get that all mixed together really well. You want to give this time to simmer on a lower heat and let that cream cheese melt down so it becomes one nice smooth sauce. Once you can no longer see the cream cheese, then you're going to add in about a half cup of sharp cheddar cheese. Go ahead and give this one more good mix and let that cheese melt in the sauce. Now finally it's time to add our pasta, so I went ahead and cooked up 12 ounces of bow tie pasta, and I'm just going to add that right in here after I drain the water off. After getting that all mixed together, then you are going to take some more of that cheese and you're going to add that over the top and just give this a moment to let the cheese melt. You can add as much cheese to this as you want. I think I only added about a half cup, but that's just because I was almost out of cheese. So if you want to add more than this, you totally can. Then here's what my plate looked like in the end. We did choose to eat some sour cream over the top of this. It was really good this way. My husband ate some Diablo sauce on his. This pasta does have kind of a taco-y taste. However, my husband requested that I make some garlic bread to go along with this, so I went ahead and made some garlic bread. It was kind of funny together, but honestly, it turned out just fine, and dinner was delicious. Thank you so very much for watching today's video. I do hope that you enjoyed and found some recipes that look good to you. Don't forget to leave me a flower down in the comments below if you did make it all the way to the end. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you back here on Sunday for a new video. Bye!